From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, the city of North Pole could be the first local municipality to enact marijuana control regulations as a pair of ordinances are up for approval at tomorrow night's city council meeting. Alaska voters passed ballot measure 2 last fall, which legalized the possession and use of marijuana. It becomes effective February 24th. The bill does give certain levels of control to municipalities. The North Pole City Council is slated to take public comment during a second reading on 2 ordinances, the first of which prohibits the flammable extraction of marijuana oils within city limits. Violations come with a $1,500 fine. The second ordinance bans public use of marijuana and includes a list of 16 areas that are classified as public places. Violators would face a $100 fine. City Mayor Bryce Ward says the measure does not affect marijuana use in the privacy of one's home.
So I think it's important that we take the lead on this and really make sure that we let people know that these are places that are not acceptable. As the ordinance is written right now, if you're in your front yard, if you're on your property, there's nothing that says that it's illegal. We do have a clause in here that says if it's a nuisance, but I think for the majority of folks that are going to be consuming this, they will not be a nuisance to their neighbors.
Local officials are getting ready for a hearing on Army downsizing that will be held in 8 days. With U.S. involvement in world conflicts decreasing and budget reductions mandated by Congress, the Army is considering cuts at 30 installations, both overseas and in the lower 48. A team of Army officers will be traveling from Washington, D.C. to Alaska to hear what residents have to say about the possibility of losing a large number of soldiers. Public comment will be taken February 24th at 5:30 p.m. at the Carlson Center. Now, a worst-case scenario for Fort Wainwright would be the cutting of about 5,800 people. Officials with the Fbx Economic Development Corporation say the cuts would be devastating.
It's 30% of our economy. It's 38% of our payroll. So it is exactly a third of our economy. It's a huge deal.
If they implement the cuts that are under consideration, basically that's 14%, 15% of our borough-wide population is gone in one fell swoop. It's huge.
The trial of a Fairbanks man accused of attempted murder is expected to wrap up this week in Fairbanks Superior Court. 54-year-old Norman Beverly has been on trial for over a week. Now, his charges include attempted murder, felony assault, and kidnapping. Beverly is currently out of custody on $500,000 bail. Assistant District Attorney Earl Peterson told the jury of 10 women and 4 men that Beverly shot his girlfriend in the face, beat her, and held her for a period of 2 days without her consent. So far, nearly 20 people have taken the stand in the case. The last are expected to testify tomorrow. A Fairbanks woman is in jail facing felony charges. 28-year-old Brittany Oliver was taken into custody early this morning at a residence near Dalton Trail. Now, according to troopers, Oliver had an outstanding no-bail felony warrant for her arrest. Oliver has already been indicted by a Fairbanks grand jury on both second and third-degree misconduct involving a controlled substance. That indictment alleges Oliver possessed and attempted to deliver methamphetamines and heroin in February of 2014. Oliver was arraigned this afternoon in front of Judge Paul Lyle in order to be held without bail. 1 in 4 students at the University of Alaska Fairbanks are leaving traditional classrooms and getting their education online. The university e-learning program has 2,600 students getting their education straight from their computers this year. Some e-learning classes offer core curricula like math and English, while others teach specific degree paths. E-learning director Carol Gehring warns that online classes aren't any easier academically. She says the withdrawal rate of e-learning classes is slightly higher when compared to campus classrooms. Now, she adds that learning online is more for students who don't have time to focus on traditional schooling or for those who need more flexibility to earn their degree.
If your schedule isn't allowing you to take as many classes as you would like on the campus, or you have other obligations like work or family responsibilities, you can add courses that you can do at with your flexibility of your time schedule.
When we come back, the Boys and Girls Club had their 23rd annual Have a Heart auction recently, and the community responded. Now, also the Downtown Rotary Association showed some generosity of their own with a new library for Ravens Landing. Those stories and more next when we return. Welcome back. Look up in the skies and you may not realize there are sophisticated satellites zipping overhead. According to meteorologist Eric Stevens, weather satellites are equipped with infrared sensors, visible spectrum sensors, and components called sounders. Stevens is speaking at the Science for Alaska lecture series tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in the Gold Room at the Westmark Hotel. If his energy and enthusiasm are good indicators, it's safe to count on his forecast for a fun and informative talk about weather satellites in Alaska. Stevens says thanks to advanced technology, some satellites are even equipped with super sensitive visible cameras.
It's so sensitive that it can almost see like visible light even at night. It makes the most of any little sliver of light, reflected moonlight, aurora, starlight. You can see imagery that looks like you'd swear it came during the daytime when the sun is up. And we'll look at pictures of that tomorrow night.
The Boys and Girls Club of the Tanana Valley hosted their largest fundraiser of the year Friday night. It was their 23rd annual Have a Heart auction. Generous members of the community came to wine and dine while playing games and donating through both a live and silent auction. Auction items ranged anywhere from a small gift bag to a barbecue grill. Now, they even had a rent-a-gent auction where donors bid on 2 men who will provide 8 hours of handyman service. At the end of the night, one lucky participant got the chance to open a box with a key and win 2 Alaska airline tickets. Sarah Nichols, the executive director, was thankful for all the generous donors that helped keep the Boys and Girls Club going.
It is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We hope to always reach about $75,000 is what we're trying to take home tonight through our auction items. We do what's called a fund a need, where people can just write a donation straight to us. So our mission is, every year we want to provide the quality programming that we provide in the after-school hours.
Fairbanks is fortunate to have a number of service organizations with the community that are continuously donating or building projects. Now, one of those organizations is the local Fairbanks Downtown Rotary Club. On Friday, residents at Raven Landing Senior Community Center were presented with completed customized library shelves. The Rotary Club contributed $13,000 for the construction of those shelves that will enable those at the facility to have a larger amount of reading materials to choose from instead of relying on frequent trips to the library.
And our object here was to provide something for the community that people could share in, not only the residents of Ravens Landing, but all of the people in the community that like to read in a comfortable place to be, here with a fireplace and the nice couches and books. But this is our Rotary Club's gift to this community this year.
Looking for a job? We have news for you. The Home Depot has put out a notice that it's looking for 80,000 associates nationwide. The home improvement retailer is preparing for spring, its busiest season. Home Depot plans to hire 45 associates for the store here in Fairbanks. Available positions range from sales and cashiers to operations and online order fulfillment. There will be both full-time and part-time opportunities, and college students, retirees, and veterans are encouraged to apply. The HR manager at the Fairbanks store said they have to start taking applications now to get everything done by the start of construction season.
It's a process for sure to get people hired in here. It takes a couple weeks, the interview process, going and, doing the different background checks and getting you in for orientation and training. Definitely a process. So we like to start early so that way we're ready, come mid-March, April to really get you in here and get ready for the season here in Fairbanks.
And all those interested in the positions can get information online at homedepot.com. All right, well, Joe Cook is up next with the weekend recap in sports, including the Yukon Quest, which is really close now. That story and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here, the sports seat for you this Monday evening with the weekend recap. The 2015 Yukon Quest could be going out to one of the closest finishes since 2012. Alan Moore took the lead from Brent Sass Sunday night by only 2 minutes. Moore left Two Rivers at 1:36 this afternoon, and Sass was right behind him, leaving at 1:38. Sass accidentally overslept between Circle and Central. Moore caught up with Sass at mile 101. Moore left mile 101 at 10:26 last night, with Sass trailing behind. In quotes to the Daily News Miner, Moore said that Eagle Summit was the best that he's seen it, while Sass felt it was the hardest part of the race for him so far. In 2012, Hugh Neff won the quest by 26 seconds over Moore, finishing in Whitehorse, Yukon. Moore or Sass is expected to finish around 11 p.m. tonight in downtown Fairbanks. We'll try to get that update for you in tonight's Sportscast. So those are your two leaders. Ed Hopkins has a comfortable lead in third place, heading to mile 101. Hugh Neff is fourth. He is also going to mile 101, while rookie Damon Alexander Tedford is fifth going into Central. There are 16 mushers left on the trail. But there is some sad news to report today in the sport of dog mushing. The legendary George Atla Jr. has passed away. Sunday night, Atla died at the Alaska Native Medical Center in Anchorage. He had B-cell lymphoma. He was 81 years old. Known as the Huslia Hustler, he's considered the greatest sprint dog sled racer of all time. Born in Koyukuk, he started mushing at 25 years old in the late 50s. Despite health issues throughout the years, Atla won the Fur Rendezvous and Open North American a combined total of 18 times. His last race was last year in the Arctic Winter Games right here in Fairbanks. There will be a service for Atla at the Chief David Salmon Tribal Hall at 11 a.m. on Tuesday in Fairbanks. He will have a burial in Huslia on Thursday. Saturday, the Nanack hockey team had a storybook ending on senior night, hosting the top-ranked Minnesota State Mavericks at the Carlson Center. 7 seniors were honored before the puck drop as they took their final skates around the ice at the Carlson Center. The Mavs, looking to be spoilers, though, they scored on a power play in the second period to break the 0-0 tie. Alaska would respond in the third. Tyler Morey tied the game with a shorthanded goal 41 seconds into the third. Later, senior Garrett Perry scored what would be the game winner. Morley added an empty net tally as well. Senior Sean Cahill, he makes 24 saves, and Alaska wins 3-1 over the Mavs on senior night. UAF wins the season series 2-1. Alaska is the only team in the country to have a winning record against the #1 Mavs in at least 2 games.
Just a lot of memories have come back over the course of being here, and it's been honestly the best time of my life.
This was a big win for us. It was a big weekend for us, and it's the last homestand. But I really want to win the Governor's Cup, and so do these guys. So.
2 interior high school hockey teams made it to the state finals on Saturday in the 4A final. West Valley, they went up against West Anchorage. It was anything you can do, I can do better. The game was tied 2-2 after 2 periods as both teams just traded goals going back and forth. However, the Eagles gained a 4-2 lead in the third after a late empty net goal. Stasius Gorowski, he scored with 29 seconds left, his second goal of the game for West Valley. But West, they were able to hold on and win the state title 4-3. It's their first state title since 2010. This was West Valley's first state final appearance since 2000 and the first for an interior team since 2009. Skorowski, Gabe Rankin, and Richie Stickle made the all-tournament team for West Valley. Now, Houston and Monroe, they met in the Greatland final. Houston was able to generate offense, scoring a goal in each period. The Rams were stumped by Hawks goalie, though, Aaron Alred. He stopped all 36 shots from the Rams. Monroe outshot Houston 36-18. Houston, they got the goals. They win 3-0 for the state title. Houston wins their first Greatland State Championship since 2007 after being runner-up in the last 3 finals. Now we wrap up things this Monday night with an epic I-5 interior top 5 plays.
At number 5, Hutchinson's Ellie Veazey with her second game-winning buzzer beater of the year. This one gave the Hawks a 39-37 win over Seward on Thursday. At number 4, Lathrop's Cole Burner hits a deep 3 to tie Colony in the last 2 minutes. The Malamutes come back to win 54-47 over the Knights on Friday. At number 3, Anthony Reese jumps out of the gym for the offensive rebound, and Rashad Allen nails one of 15 made threes for the Nooks. Third most in the game in program history. They end their 9-game losing streak with an 87-65 win over MSUB on Saturday. Number 2, senior netminder Sean Cahill makes 39 saves, has a 96% save percentage, and allows 2 goals against number 1 Minnesota State over the weekend for the series win. At number 1, couldn't have written this better in a movie. Senior and assistant captain Garrett Perry scores the game-winning goal in the third period on senior night as the Alaska Nanocks defeat number 1 Minnesota State 3-1 to win this series 101 in their last home game of the season.
To vote for the play of the week, click on your play on the I-5 poll on Webster11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube posts and send a tweet to KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Monday edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, talking about the weather. Hope you had yourself a good weekend. All in all, not too bad. The temperatures warmed up nicely, and they're continuing to warm, and that means the roads are getting very slick. So just a reminder to be safe out there because it is very dangerous right now. Our photograph tonight, this one's sent in by Dina Cannon. And again, a gorgeous shot of the trees, the moon, and the aurora last night. There's the moon on the horizon and the auroras in the distance there. What a great shot that is. As always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Here's your numbers. 28 degrees currently after a high of 31. We tried to get to freezing. The low last night were exactly 0. The record high, 44 in 1947, 47 below in 1915. Your sunrise and sunset, 8 hours and 46 minutes. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Our latest radar, as you zoom in on the Fairbanks area, as you can see, we're looking at a few scattered showers around the area, but nothing really organized and not really strong. In fact, most of the showers look like they've moved on through. Now, the long-distance shot showing, again, a lot of activity moving from the south to the north across much of the Prince William Sound area and the Kenai Peninsula and over southeast Alaska, but the Alaska Range is doing a good job of blocking all that out. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, once again, we have some rain falling around the Juneau area. Sunshine at Ketchikan, 43 degrees there. Over the south central regions around the Anchorage Bowl, 37. A little rain and snow mixed. Kodiak, 42 degrees, and some rain showers around the Aleutian Chain. Up and down the west coast, 30 degrees at Nome and 5 below at Barrow. That's pretty warm for them for this time of year. Fort Yukon at 18 above. Okay, lower 48 weather looks like this. Once again, we're talking about some nice weather over the western half of the country. 59 degrees at Seattle. And then you start moving to the east, you get back into the cold temperatures. Once again, Minneapolis at 20 degrees, Chicago 18, New York 21 degrees, and they're getting ready for a big snowstorm. Why? Well, look at the satellite and radar. Look at all the energy coming together, and it's going to bring a lot of snow to the Washington, D.C. area. In fact, we're talking about close to a foot of snow in the Washington, D.C. area, and then moving slowly up to the northeast. It won't be as heavy for the northeast finally, but they're still going to be getting some more snow, so quite a bit of winter weather still to go over the eastern half of the country. All because of the jet stream, once again, rotating from the northwest to the southeast, helping to bring all that cold Arctic air down across the eastern half of the country, while the western half remains in pretty good shape. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like, and we're looking at snow likely developing at Nome. Mainly cloudy skies for Barrow and Fort Yukon, while here in the interior, it looks like a pretty nice day. And again, warm temperatures, just scattered clouds for the entire region. Over southeast Alaska, a little mixed bag once again. Some clouds and a little rain at Juneau, but partly cloudy skies in Ketchikan. While over to the southwest part of the state, we're looking at rain and snow in Bethel. Rain showers at Cold Bay and clouds for Kodiak. And over the south central sections around the Anchorage Bowl, partly cloudy in Anchorage, isolated rain and snow for Homer and snow at Valdez. Well, today the kids were off from school, so we're going to give you a weather fact instead. And our weather fact for tonight is in 1987, Farmville, Virginia had 14 inches of snow, while to the south, freezing rain fell over much of North Carolina. All right, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. And again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank. And next week we'll be visiting with the kids from Weller Elementary School. Tonight we're looking at 15 degrees above zero for the overnight low. Very mild, a few flurries possible, higher wind, higher elevations, we've seen some winds. And 31 degrees tomorrow with another very mild day. And the 5-day outlook looking for once again temperatures very nice and very comfortable. And warming up again toward the weekend for temperatures near 30 degrees by Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a little snow in the forecast on Sunday. Other than that, overnight lows will be really warm, 12 to 15 degrees each night. So really some great weather.
I looked at my thermometer on my car today and it said 37 degrees.
Wow.
Nice.
I mean, that's got to be wrong, right? Or was it?
Well, it depends if it was sitting in the sun, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, getting all the sun focused on it, it depends where your thermometer is in your car, but
it just felt like spring today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's pretty warm for all the dogs out there on the Yukon Quest Trail. They're coming in. Last time I looked at the tracker, they're closing in on North Pole, so hopefully I can get that in for the 11 o'clock Sportscast.
Did you guys have a nice Valentine's Day?
I had good Valentine's Day.
Yeah, great.
I had a great Valentine's Day. My wife and I went out to the party out at the Blue Loon for a dance. We were crowned the king and queen of the prom. How about that?
That's great.
That is great. You know what? You need to share that photo on our KTVF page so we can share with all the viewers.
And tomorrow's our 42nd anniversary, too.
Oh, well, happy anniversary, King and Queen Schultz.
How about that?
All right.
All right.
Well, with that, we're going to wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, a train derailment has sent an oil tanker into a river in West Virginia. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
All right, don't forget to tune in at 11 o'clock because Joe may
Hopefully.
have that Yukon Quest update.
Yeah.
But from all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.
Good night.